Hello and welcome to this final lecture of the week on the Commerce Clause. I've provided you with some slides that are intended to give you a broader understanding of how all of these cases we've been discussing fit together. So our first slide shows any number of cases, all the cases we've discussed, with a couple of exceptions. I don't think we went over Alden versus Maine. But it breaks them up into Commerce Clause cases and federalism cases. And I think the point here is to kind of demonstrate that there is significant overlap between commerce and federalism as a concept. If you'll look at the list of federalism cases, you'll see National League of Cities and Garcia v. SAMTA there, Garcia v. San Antonio Metropolitan Metro Transit Authority. And you'll notice that those cases are about federalism, but they're also about commerce, right? The federal government was attempting to regulate the states in the same way it might have regulated Roscoe Filburn or Lopez or Morrison or Raich. But it was attempting to regulate the states, and thus that activates a federalism question because states are sovereign in and of themselves. The next set of slides the next slide is exactly the same as this one, but it just color codes those instances in which the Supreme Court has expanded federal power and which it has limited it. So you'll see the expansive power is in blue, limitations are in pink, and you'll see in terms of commerce, it's kind of equally balanced. With a large gap in time between Wickard and Lopez, which is all blue, should be all blue if it was there. But if you look down at the federalism cases, the federal government loses more often than it wins. The federal power with respect to the states is often constricted. This next slide just mixes them all up, and it keeps the moniker federalism or commerce, but it puts them in a year order so that you can see when they were decided with respect to each other. And then this is just putting them in order, not necessarily in terms of year, but in terms of era and court. So we've got the Marshall Court, Taney Court, booming 20s, the post-switch, right? So there wasn't necessarily a change in personnel very much between 36 and 37. There certainly was by 42, but those cases were important for the New Deal. And then we get the Berger and Rehnquist court cases. And this one color codes those cases in terms of whether the government's power, federal government's power was expanded, which is in blue, or whether it was limited, which is in pink. Okay, so that's all, and you may want to pause the lecture so that you can look more closely at these slides. You might want to go back to the beginning and then just pause the lecture so you can look and see how they're all related to each other.